Oh, hello there, I didn't see you. Hello, I'm Lord Nathaniel Stiffhorn, and welcome to my reading series. Today we will be reading an excerpt from Wild Child by Jordan Silver, the story of a young addict and the doctor that is trying to save her. Let us begin. Now, at 21, it all came to a head a few months ago. My parents stepped in when I was about to lose my shit. I had to tell them before I did something stupid. When I started having fantasies of going to bars and picking up strange men to fuck me until my pussy was no longer thirsty, that's when I knew I needed help. Mum and Dad found me the doc. Now I'm not sure that this was such a good idea. Dr. McAllister is in his early 30s, I think, with waves of jet black hair. But on his right temple is the sexiest patch of silver grey hair you've ever seen on a man. And yes, he has the most intense blue-green eyes, a color I've never seen anywhere except behind his hot-as-fuck glasses that instead of making him look nerdy like the boys at school, only made him seem dashingly intelligent. I just want to fuck him into the ether. My pussy is so hot as I lie on his couch. It's been doing that a lot in the last few weeks since I've been coming to see him. But today is the worst. Chelsea? Chels, what are you doing? I looked over at his desk questioningly. What does he mean, what am I doing? I'm laying here listening to his voice. His sexy as sin voice that makes me think of fucking. His eyes did one of those up and down things that meant to look at what I'm seeing. Oh fuck. I had one hand in my pussy, and the other had rucked up my shirt and pushed my bra cups aside so that my 34 C's were on full display. Even with his eyes on me, I couldn't stop. In fact, that just made me hotter. Help me, Doc. Please help me. I fingered myself harder as I imagined the hunky doctor doing just that. When he stood from his desk and headed for the door, I felt a pang of disappointment, and tears stung my eyes. But even with the threat of exposure, I couldn't help myself and kept slamming my fingers harder into my cunt. But he didn't leave. Instead, he turned the lock on the door and turned back to me. He loosened his tie slowly, then dropped his jacket before starting on his shirt, and fuck, he wasn't hot as fuck under that $3,000 suit. I made a pitiful sound in my throat as my body grew hot and my fingers sped up. All the while, my eyes were glued to the bulge in his slacks as he made his way towards me. Then his shirt fell open, and I got my first look at his manly chest. I wanted to lick his abs, could already taste his skin. And that's just what I did as soon as he drew close enough. I got to my knees and licked and sucked the skin over his rock-hard abs. When I felt his hands on my hair, my eyes closed like a petted cat, and my pussy twitched hard around my fingers as cunt juice leaked out of me and down my thighs. Pretty soon his abs were not enough, and I bit his cock through the material of his trousers. I hummed in my throat at the length and hardness of his cock, already imagining it sliding in me. Oh yes, my head swam with thoughts of what he could do with that thing. I fought his belt and zipper and took him into my mouth before his pants and silk boxers had even hit the floor. I cried, now for a different reason. It had been so long since I'd fucked anything but silicone. I'd worn my pussy out trying to satisfy it. But nothing was better than the real thing. And though my only experience had been with a boy, I knew that having cock was better than anything else. And what a beautiful cock it was. It had to be at least 13 inches long, Jesus, and so thick I could hardly get my hand completely around it. Now my juices free-flowed and ran down my inner thighs, and that itch grew out of control. Exactly. "Please, Doc." I pulled my lips from around his cock and laid back against the couch with my legs spread wide, begging without words for what I needed most. My poor fingers had grown tired, and I was no longer able to sustain my wild need. I opened my pussy for him as he studied me with those intense eyes. He removed his glasses before kneeling between my thighs, getting close enough to sniff me. He studied my pussy for a long time before his tongue came out, and he licked hard and deep.
"Yes, fuck, eat my pussy."
I pulled his head against me, driving his fat tongue deeper into my cunt. I wanted it all. He ate pussy like he was going to be quizzed on that shit when he was done. Thoroughly. I cried and moaned and pleaded until he climbed up my frame and slid that cock home. Yes. Yes, this is just what I needed, what I'd been searching for all my life. His cock didn't just fill me, it stuffed my pussy till there was no room left. He hit places inside me I didn't even know I had. Yeah, fuck my pussy, Doc. He put his hand over my mouth and I licked his salty flesh. That too made me hotter. Everything was making me hot. My flesh felt like it would melt, my breathing was erratic, and my pulse was running away. The only place I felt good was between my thighs, and that place deep inside that he was touching with what had to be the longest, fattest cock in creation. I should know, I've had 8 inches by 5 in there, and it did me no good. Thank you, everyone, for coming to our dramatic reading. Coming. I hope you all have an erotic evening.